All right, my name is Carlos Zema. I'm here with Andreas Kisser, legend, Sepultura, and a bunch of other incredible things you have done, man. It's a pleasure, man, having you, man. It's great. We're here at Fender. I would like also to thank Jeff and everybody for the space. Bro, in your opinion, man, what do you think that is the main difference between the music scene from years past compared to nowadays?
I'm come from Brazil, as many people know. And Brazil was much harder during the 80s, 70s, 80s. Because first we didn't have the concerts, the shows, the festivals. I think the first big festival that happened in Brazil was in 85, Rock in Rio. Before that, only Queen and Kiss came down to Brazil. The bands that really inspired me to be a musician. Queen and Kiss, especially Kiss. And I had the privilege to see them in 83 in São Paulo, the big football stadium. That was really a big push, This is what I want to do and etc. But I guess the difficult aspect, it helped in the end. We had the albums, of course, imported albums, difficult to get as well. But, we could see every band was, let's say, perfect. The recording was okay, it was great and great cover. But we didn't have the chance to see them live. And I learned later that not all the bands were great live.
Yeah.
So, but in our perspective, we had to be the best that we could. So that's why Sepultura always practiced like daily, really worked hard, to be the best that we could on stage. And nowadays, my son, 17 years old, he had all, besides being my son with the guitars and equipment and stuff, he had YouTube and all that stuff. You see Tony Iommi teaching you Iron Man right there.
Yeah.
Nowadays, during those days, we didn't have that kind of stuff. So I guess if you balance that, we develop our imagination a lot more. So I think that was very positive. But today you have a lot more channels and outlets, to find great schools. EMT in São Paulo, which is one of the best music schools in Brazil, especially for guitars, drums, bass, etc. But in the end, it's what you do. It's your heart speaking. You cannot really fool anybody. When people see you, if they feel something that has to be very true and very natural. It doesn't matter if you play with A, B, or Z type of equipment. You have to go there and really express what you feel. I think with Sepultura was always like that. Always a challenge to get to a different level, to play outside Belo Horizonte, to play outside Brazil, and to go further. And only work and really be honest with your music. You have to play the music you love. Don't do music for radio or for management or any other reason. Play what you like. I mean, Sepultura came from Brazil, playing death metal in bad English, bad instruments, and we did what we did, because we had like our heart on it, our soul. We believe so much in our art, so I guess this is timeless, If you really do what you believe, I mean, the consequences are great.
Yeah, man. I remember when I was a little kid, I've grown up riding my skateboard and having a Walkman with Sepultura being played,
Nice.
Arise, Chaos AD, back then. You guys were always an inspiration for every Brazilian band. We have a lot of gratitude for Sepultura.
Thank you.
Sepultura actually opened a lot of doors for the Brazilian bands throughout the world. Greatest metal band, in Brazilian metal history. So
30 years now of Sepultura,
Exactly.
Still going.
Exactly. You mentioned a little bit about your son, Jim, and you guys are jamming together.
Yes.
How does it feel, man? How is it too?
It feels great, man. He's a great musician, very focused, digging, in different styles of music. He have his own band now, alongside, King Crimson and some Black Sabbath, Jimi Hendrix, Zappa. His head is really going, learning how to sing and everything. But we have this project, it's called Kisser Clan.
That's right.
And we play only covers, from classic rock to metal. I started that really to put together, of course, my family and the friends around. I always do in Brazil at the end of the year, that is like an open jam. Guys, like that had a dream to be a musician, but unfortunately they went different ways, but they still play guitar and stuff. So it's a great feeling, and Kisser Clan started like that. And now we do some shows in Brazil, some different parties, whatever, I have time, of course, with the schedule and everything. It's amazing. We know each other much better, get close, not only musically, but as a friend, that kind of opportunity, It's amazing.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. What would be your piece of advice for the musicians that are starting right now that want to be a professional musician one day?
It's really to play the music you love. Doesn't matter if it's reggae, blues, metal, or any weird style. Sepultura have the privilege to travel the world nonstop. We see so many different cultures expressing music in different ways. Like in Russia, you see like different instruments in metal music, or even in Brazil, the percussion stuff. You don't need to be afraid to risk anything in art, because when you do that, you're actually doing art, not copying or trying to, within the rules, I mean, rules are there to be broken, especially in art in general, Imagine the world without Salvador Dali or Picasso or Stravinsky, that those guys that really saw new possibilities, for music and for art in general. So do the stuff that you like, And I know we are in 2015 and it seems everything was done, everything was invented, but we are far away from it, because the imagination and the possibilities of the human mind is endless, So do the stuff that you like, It doesn't matter what kind of music. And of course, seek for information, how to play your instrument properly. Play with many different instruments. I mean, I learned that on the road. Sepultura played in so many different situations with every type of equipment, and it's great. You learn how to deal with different situations, and you have to go there and really express what you feel in different ways, And study. I think study is great. You have to understand the rules to break them. You might think that you're doing something revolutionary, and the Beatles did that a long time ago, So be aware what's going on and enjoy. I think you have to be happy with what you do. I feel privileged to do what I do. I love what I do, which is amazing, So that's it. I mean, play what you like, seek for information, and enjoy. I mean, no more than that.
Top 5 albums of all times.
It's always hard, man, but the first album I bought that I still think it's one of the biggest masterpieces of all time is A Night at the Opera by Queen,
Yes.
I think that's a perfect album. You have Freddie Mercury at his peak, with one of the greatest genius of music, of all time. And Bohemian Rhapsody is, there's no words really to describe it, It's, this is, for me, it's really top one, I guess, Black Sabbath, the first album, of course, it changed everybody's life, I think, and still doing that, after so long. It's an eternal album. I think it can be put aside like any Mozart or Beethoven
totally,
type of music, because, it's such a huge influence on everybody, and it was made by pure heart, They came into the studio recording between tours and stuff, and it's what it is, pure and beautiful. I don't know, I think Metallica has to be there, one of my favorite bands that really influenced me a lot, and I think Master of Puppets, a masterpiece, Cliff Burton was really a unique musician that brought so many different possibilities for the bass, for the thrash metal style, I think without Cliff Burton, Master of Puppets wouldn't be possible. All the albums, of course, Metallica, but I think that album, unfortunately, happened what happened with Cliff and everything, but that album was really the start of something really special in music history. Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Jimi Hendrix, Cream, those albums, Machine Head or Led Zeppelin 4 or, any album of that. Those musicians really made a huge difference on my playing, I learned with them. I never had like a guitar class. I always study classical guitar, like acoustic guitar, Brazilian popular music and chorinho and all that stuff. That stuff I really studied, but guitar was always like listening and trying to play like my idols, Randy Rhoads, that kind of stuff is really my world. You can choose any albums of those people, I think you can complete my top 5.
All right. Have you heard anything recently that has brought to your attention? The musicianship really got into you?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I'm not really a music hunter, like trying to see what's new all the time. Of course, we have the privilege to travel a lot, meet new bands and new people, new music. I have a radio show in Brazil, in São Paulo, together with my son as well, Johan. We receive a lot of Brazilian bands, especially thrash and stuff. But the stuff that really moved me, and it's not that new. I think Deftones was something really fresh for my ears. System of a Down, they brought something really special, really cool. Dave Grohl, I think, is one of the masters of music, with no borders or no limits, playing with the Beatles and playing with the thrash guys and stuff, it's amazing, I think everything that the Dave put his heart and a lot of soul. You know, it's very honest. It seems very honest. You know, some stuff of the Foo Fighters and the Queens of Stone Age. You know, Songs for the Deaf. I think that album is amazing. I don't know, nothing newer than that. I think I'm getting too old.
Andreas, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Muito obrigado.
Valeu.
And it was a pleasure. And I would like to thank you for the genuine person you are. Besides being the legend you are, and you have been inspired a lot of musicians around, man, the world. And
I hope so, man.
I'm pretty sure you still will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man.